Welcome back to the Tribute Games podcast. Of course, the podcast, as the name indicates, it's a podcast about a small independent game studio in Montreal, and we're here to show you or talk about how the video game sausage is made. And to talk about sausages this week.
A brand new sausage.
A brand new sausage. We're here to talk about a brand new sausage that you have not...
it's so fresh.
Yeah, I've not played with yet. And it's called Flinthook. But who is talking about this sausage? There's me, Yannick Qs. I am a social media manager as well as a writer for Tribute Games. And in front of me, there's...
Dom 2D, and I'm the game designer on Flinthook.
So we haven't done one of these in a long while because we were busy, but at the same time we were trying to keep our new project, which is Flinthook, under wraps. So
yeah.
Because it was sort of secret and we didn't want to talk about it too much yet, we needed to wait. So that's why we didn't do any podcast. But now we're trying to go back at the podcast factory and trying to make
because now we can make a podcast that's not just a bunch of secrets and silences. We can actually talk about the meat.
I hope you're having a great dinner right now. It's obviously quite it'll make you hungry listening to all those metaphors. In fact.
Oh.
So Dom, what is Flinthook? First, we'll say that our game is going to be at PAX, which is quite exciting, at the Indie Mega Booth.
PAX East.
PAX East. We're also practicing our spiel, our sales pitch, as we'll be telling people, we'll be talking about and trying people to get it to play at PAX. So we're sort of getting back into it and trying to learn to speak again.
We wrote a little paragraph that's supposed to describe the game really well. Maybe Yannick, you can start with that, and then we can expand on it. And use your epic radio voice.
I don't have such a voice, Dominic, sadly. it's this voice is all I have. So live the life of Space Captain Flinthook, armed with your mighty chain hook, your uncanny slow motion powers, and your trusty plasma gun. Plunder and fight your way through an infinite variety of randomly assembled spaceship for treasure, loot, and fame. Hunt down your pirate rivals and collect wondrous relics and become the greatest pirate of the universe.
That sounds really good. Also, I need to say cool less.
Okay.
So I might, if you see me, if you hear me say cool, just like.
But saying cool so much is really appropriate for what we're talking about, isn't it, Dom?
Oh yes, for sure. Because I mean, you're a space pirate.
Yeah.
Isn't there anything more awesome than being a space pirate?
Well, as we are trying to sell this game, I think there's nothing cooler than being a space pirate. So, like, where does it come from? What is Flinthook? Like, tell us, Dom, since you're the game designer and originator of this.
All right, where do we start? I mean, first of all, I think it's all about the space pirates. Like, we wanted something fresh and colorful, like an awesome cartoon that's full of weird aliens and gadgets and something that feels like, I don't know, like DuckTales and Inspector Gadget, or something sci-fi and magical at the same time, like this.
Yeah, I think a part of it also was letting Stefan, who's like one of the artists, exactly. So he could design a whole world from ground up and draw and create something really fun.
Yeah, and he's got an insane mind that is also very practical. Like everything in the game, because the game is all about fast action. So since everything is so fast and quick, everything needs also to be super clear. And Stefan also has this gift of making like these super creative creatures that also show really well what their function is. So we have this creative freedom in this alien universe to create a monster that's a giant worm that poops out mines, because that's what the enemy does, and that's what the mechanic is.
Wormzog, his name is.
Exactly. I think we talked about that before. It was one of the secrets about Space Pirates.
So yeah, that's one part of the look of why we wanted that theme or do that stuff. But this is your first official like Tribute Games game. Like you've been here for a while, but that's your first game. So how did that start? Like why did you decide to do that game, or how did that development start?
All right. So I was tasked to come up with the next big tribute game, and I started by pitching a few ideas and doing a few prototypes, but I quickly realized that it was the best opportunity for me to do a platformer, because I've never done one, and I've always, like, most of my favorite games are platformers, like Zelda 2 or Spelunky, or like even Bionic Commando, which is a clear influence on this game. So Andy and I played around with a few new mechanics. We tried like a teleport or a bunch of dash moves, and I think that's when I realized I wanted to do something that was fast. That was quick, that was intense. Rather than do something like a Mega Man that's kind of slow and methodical, I wanted something more open and have more of a vertical movement to it. Have more freedom of movement vertically and horizontally at the same time. So yeah, so everything in the game, as we developed a bunch of features to it, everything is made to make fast movement more accessible, like easier. Like we have the hook that we have now has a lot of auto aim, so you can like really, you're sure to pull off cool moves. Oh, I said cool again. All the time. You have a slow-mo power that makes you, that helps you move around and shoot well and dodge bullets and hazards and lasers and all over the place.
So there's that, and there's but the main thing that seems that people have really responded to when we showed the game, like it appeared, like we had a preview on Polygon that was really exciting, and when we showed off the game for the first time, like people like really responded to the hook shot. So the type of chain hook, whip hook, hook whip. I'm still trying to find the best possible name for it. So we'll see.
I think the mighty chain hook that we have now is pretty good. But
yeah,
we might change it.
But yeah, it might change. So how did you came to like the hook shot? How did that came to you? There's the bionic commando of it that you just mentioned. So
yeah. Grappling hook mechanics are always super fun and interesting, and everybody's just making jokes about everything is better with a grappling hook. But I actually felt like a lot of games that had grappling hooks in them were not that was not prone to fast movement like I wanted to do that much, because as soon as you let the player swing around, like the ninja rope in Worms or the swinging in Bionic Commando, it starts to get kind of slow and wonky or physicsy sometimes. So I think the moment I really thought about doing a hook shot that zips you around was when I was playing the Arkham games, the Batman games. Because when you just like use what was it called? The bat shot, the bat hook shot. So when you use that to zip to a ledge or zip to a gargoyle, or I think when you're flying, you can also use the grappling gun to propel you forward. I think that's when I realized that it was instantaneous, like it was immediate, like a movement action that's super fast and efficient. So I applied that to a platformer, which is just you aim at something and you zip towards it with high speed, which lets you move vertically and all that. Okay.
So, Dom, you claim to have invented all of these notions, right? They're brand new to gaming, and they are your sole invention only.
No, not at all. I mean, it was in like old NES games like Darkwing Duck and Bionic Commando, like we said. But I don't know, they always felt a bit stiff to me, so I tried to make it as smooth as possible. Like with we have 360-degree aiming. At first it was 8 directions, but now it's like full 360 aiming. Like the gun, also you can shoot in 360. So it really gives you this insane freedom of movement instead of this clumsy, like almost puzzle-like movement in those old games.
So here to be games like we do, like our games are always sourced like in retro gaming and stuff like classic genres like platforming. But you wanted to add like something more modern to it, more modern element.
I mean, games like Mercenary Kings had a lot of modern twists on it, like the crafting in Merc Kings and in Curses, or the online multiplayer in Merc Kings. So I thought I would bring something modern to my game that's a bit different. I really wanted to make a game that's fun to stream and that's fun to watch on stream. Inspired by a lot of games that I am still watching on Twitch and on YouTube, like Spelunky and Risk of Rain. I really wanted to have a game that has a lot of randomness and luck and a lot of skill also, because with all this movement and this 360 shooting and aiming and hook shot and slow-mo, there is a lot of skill involved also. So yeah, I wanted to create an environment that lets you pull off like really awesome moves and like really fast action that's impressive to watch. Hopefully it's something that people will like and people will like to share with people. That's a really advanced.
So you want to bring world peace through this game, is what you're trying.
Exactly. So yeah, it fits the retro side of Tribute with the 2D platforming and the pixel art, but it's also kind of crazy and replayable, like those crazy modern games with roguelike mechanics.
Personally, I'm a dunce. I don't know what are those roguelike mechanics, so why don't you tell me?
Okay, so like we call it a roguelite because it's not exactly a roguelike. Roguelikes are more like super hardcore, like you go into a dungeon with basically nothing. if you die, you start over the whole thing. It's basically what the cores of a roguelike are right now. Also, that the levels are randomly generated, so every time you play, it's different. So we kind of have those two things in moderation. If you start a game, the level is going to be different than the last time you played. If you die, it is going to be a little bit dramatic, because you're going to have to start over the levels. But there is also a progression system, and that, again, that's not new. Like a lot of roguelite games, like Rogue Legacy, did it before. As in Flinthook, you get new powers and abilities unlocked as you play, as you gain XP. Basically, you level up by collecting gold and treasure, because that's what a pirate is, right? It's you gain flair and you gain fame and coolness as you steal gold from ships. So you become more powerful and have more options, more gadgets to equip. And we have those perk cards to equip and to unlock as you level up.
What are the powers you're going to get from that? Like, how does it change the gameplay?
So you get the perk cards in perk packs. They're kind of like little card packs in collectible card games. And so you get those from leveling up, from defeating bosses, from completing achievements. And once you have those, you can equip a certain number of them to create your own gameplay style. And those are like, I mean, it's a bit of a mix between an upgrade in Rogue Legacy and an item in Binding of Isaac, where when you start a run, when you attack a ship to steal their treasures, you'll equip a couple of perk cards, but you also find some on the ship, like in shops or in treasure chests, whatever. And those perks are like, can be super simple, like you have more HP, or it can go crazy, like, what are some that we have? Like a vampirism? Is that vampirism? Reduces your maximum health by a lot, but every kill you do, every kill gets you a little bit of HP. Timebreaker would double your slow motion ability, but it would kind of mess up the screen when you use it. So it's kind of hard to see what you're doing. It kind of glitches the screen. We have a bunch of those that like match together will create these insane combinations.
Something that's been said about our games in the past is that they're pretty hard. Out of the gate, that sometimes they're complicated, or they're maybe not complicated, but they're hard right out of the game. So they're not as accessible as they could be. So are we changing it up for Flinthook?
So I mean, I know it's a weak answer, but I'm hoping to cater to both like super hardcore players and like the more casual or the more like not insane people that are like looking for a rewarding experience, not just a like heart-wrenching disaster of a death streak all the time. I take a good example from Rogue Legacy, which a lot of people on the internet were saying that it was too easy. Like it was like giving you too many chances just by letting you upgrade your character, even if you're not super skilled at the game. If you just grind through the game and collect gold, you're able to get the upgrades and you'll finish the game at some point. So yeah, I think we're gonna have something for both hardcore purists and the not so hardcore player who just want to get a rewarding experience and have a steady flow of upgrades and perks. Because we're gonna have like the normal game, the normal bounties, the bosses that you hunt down for the treasure. The normal ones will give you XP and perks, and at some point you'll be able to beat them just by evolving your character. But there will also be a hardcore version of that gives you a set equipment, a set number of perks, and will have you start over the whole thing if you die. So I think, and it's very easy for us to do, so I think we're gonna have both of those things for both the types of players. And as for the difficulty of the game overall, we're still developing it, but the idea is that the game is split in bounties, like I said, different targets, different bosses that you want to attack. And each of them is gonna have its own difficulty level. So I think someone pretty casual will probably be able to defeat the first one, but will have trouble with the last one. And there will be hardcore versions of each of those. So there should be something for everybody.
Well, that's good. Yeah, finally something for everybody from Tribute Games. One thing at the beginning of development that took a long time to develop and is sort of a big feature of the game is that our levels are going to be like randomly generated, like assembled, I mean. So which is one of our selling points. So how does that work? And you put together a whole lot of rooms by hand or
Yes.
levels by hand? Like, how did that happen?
So Flinthook will attack spaceships in the game.
Other pirate ships.
Other pirate ships that are each spaceship is made up of rooms, and we craft those rooms by hand. We place platforms and obstacles and hazards and enemies by hand in the rooms. Sorry, and we make sure that it's well balanced, that it's possible to zip through the levels also. And we put some possible variations in there, like maybe sometimes it's going to have spikes, sometimes it's going to have turrets on the side. And then we start creating the structure of the spaceship by taking those rooms and putting them together following a certain set of rules. But it's pretty random. Like there's a lot of different varieties of structures that we can create with those. We also make sure that the difficulty is fair and it scales as you attack more and more ships.
Yeah, so you would not have like a ship that has a very easy room followed by a really punishing room.
Yeah, exactly. And each ship is going to have a nice difficulty curve, like starting relatively easy. You get a few shops, you get a few treasure rooms, and have a kind of a mid boss at the end. And then you attack another ship and it's going to be a little higher for everything. So it's going to be a little tougher for each room that you encounter. I mean, it's not completely new again. It's how most games do it nowadays, just handcrafting a lot of content and putting it together randomly. We're also adding a cherry on top of that, which is what I call the variant system. Every ship you encounter will have a bunch of modifiers applied to it. Like, for example, the Red Alert variant will make more enemies appear in lockdown battle rooms in the game. Or Infested is a variant that spawns a lot of insect-like creatures all over the level.
We might give you the same room 15 times, but we'll vary it so much you won't even tell.
Exactly, because like we're mixing up the room types, the variants, the items, in each room the enemies and the hazards will change a little bit every time. So yeah, it should be completely different every time you play.
Do you know how many rooms you've made so far?
So far, and we're not even like, since we just started making actual content for it, because we created a ton of features before that. I think we still have like 200 or 300 rooms right now.
Okay.
It's true.
Oh, that's a whole lot more than I thought. That's a lot of rooms.
Yeah, I think we have. I mean, they're not all decorated and everything, but yeah, we have a lot, and I want a ton more than that still.
Yeah. During the workday, is there like a time of the day where like I'm sitting down for the afternoon, and this afternoon I'm just doing rooms?
No, it's more like it's the by default task. Like I'm always creating rooms, and everything else is on top of it. Mm-hmm. Like I'm helping Andy with a feature, or I'm like checking Johan's animations or whatever. But I always come back to creating the levels. And it's fun. I mean, I almost bought a Wii U to play Mario Maker, but I decided not to because I already have my own.
Because you have a Flinthook.
Flinthook editor.
Yeah, Flinthook editor.
It's my favorite game right now.
But before, like, we're gonna make this a short episode, so we have a bunch of lightning round questions reporting to be the general or to this game. So, true or false, Dominic?
Okay,
I'm
ready.
You know when Flinthook is going to be out?
False. I really don't. We're still working on it, and we're like working out deals and possible outcomes of this game. We don't know yet.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a strange way to proceed that we're just making it a game right now. We don't know where it's ending up, but we're really open to have loads of platforms.
Yeah.
It is a platformer after all. So yeah, we don't even know any platform. We don't know when it's out. But will there be any multiplayer or co-op stuff?
Oh, we don't have any planned, but I mean, if the game catches on, we could experiment with co-op play like we did in Merc Kings, or some multiplayer mode. Like I can see a mode of like a versus mode, like 2 Flinthooks fighting with their hooks and guns. Maybe that could be interesting.
Who gets the loot in the level, stuff like that.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll look into that if the game catches on.
True or false, Dominic? You have made the music for this game.
No, that's false. Pat Bourgeot, who composed most of our games, except all of them except Wizorb, I think. He did Curses and Chaos and Mercenary Kings. He's still on because his music is so great, so amazing.
That's wonderful.
You can hear it in the videos that we have so far, like the reveal and the Polygon video. You can hear the music, and it's fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's so kicky. I love it. A lot of people are asking us if Paul Robertson has worked on it or is working on the game.
No, not this time. We have in-house artists, Stéphane Boutin and Johan Vinet, that are just kicking ass. Steph is doing all the art direction, and Johan is animating literally everything, like all the lamps and the stars, and everything is just
characters, bad guys, effects.
Yeah, it's just so alive with all of this work put into it. It's amazing.
Dom.
Yes.
True or false? You are responsible for Mercenary Kings getting or not getting on Vita. True or false?
I'm responsible. No, I'm not responsible. So yeah,
that's a false then.
That's the most frequent question that we get. But yeah, we don't know yet. We're working on it.
We might get
we
news,
being not me.
More official news about that coming soon. Okay. We'll see what happens.
You have information.
Yeah, information.
True or false? You have information.
True, I have information. Some people also ask, since the reveal, like, what are the inspirations? We talked about it a bit, but Castlevania, Bionic Commando, Darkwing Duck, Spelunky, but what are the others that might be in there?
I think there's a lot of Towerfall in there, because Towerfall is just this crazy movement game that you can dash around, you can move around, zip around, dodge. It's very inspiring to me. Of course, all the roguelikes and roguelites out there, like Spelunky and Rogue Legacy. Yeah, but for the style and the setting, I think we all did a bit of research. Like we watched classics, like sci-fi classics, like Star Crash.
Star Crash.
Which had like really cool spaceships that had people crash into the windows and attack a ship without it having any air problem, no problem at all. So I think that's where we got the idea for wooden spaceships, because it doesn't matter. There's no problem in there.
Yeah, Star Crash is one of those great science fiction movies that is on YouTube, but no movie company bothers. Like it's just there.
Nope, not at all.
It's there with the Super Mario Brothers movie. It's just there. You can go look at it. No one
gives
cares.
a shit. Otherwise, we watched a bit of a Spaceship Sagittarius, which is an old anime that I think. Did you watch that as a kid? Or
it was big here in Quebec. It has a super jaunty theme song, but it's about being sad and having a job in space and just being space truckers and having no fun. So it's a great TV show.
But it had some like really inspiring ideas, a bit like a Star Trek show would if everybody was an alien in there. Mm-hmm. A lot of comic books and like space anime like Cowboy Bebop or Space Captain Harlock, of course. But also I'm inspired a lot by adventure cartoons like DuckTales and Inspector Gadget, TMNT, stuff like that. That it's like so creative and colorful. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot more.
There's a lot more to talk about, but for now, we just wanted to make a podcast and just give a little bit more info about the game for people who are interested or curious.
Yeah,
and
it's a good practice too, because we're as we said, we're gonna show the game at PAX East.
Yes,
and I need to be able to talk about it openly and like. It's no longer about secrets and like revealing stuff. That's the game. You're gonna be able to play it at PAX. You're gonna know most everything about it.
Yes, I don't know if we've mentioned it, but we're gonna be part of the Indie Mega booth as well, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So come and see us at PAX when we're gonna be around. It's later this month, and we're gonna shut it down for right now. But before that, where can they follow your work, Dom?
Follow me at Dom2D. I'm gonna share. We're gonna start sharing more about Flinthook in the coming weeks. Mm-hmm. I think we have more screenshots and in progress art to show. Maybe after PAX, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
And where can we find your work?
Well, first you can find the company. You can find the company's work at Tribute Games, where we post a lot of stuff from around the office. We post stuff from our previous game and from our upcoming games. So please follow us there if you like. You can also see stuff on our blog, which is blog.tributegames.com. And that you can buy our other games. We strongly invite you to buy our other game, whether it's
Ninja Senki came out recently.
Yeah, so Ninja Senki DX just came out. Yeah. We also have Mercenary Kings and we have Wizorb.
And Curses and Chaos.
All of those are available on Steam and on PS4 as well. So
there's a bunch of sales on those games these days.
Exactly. So cool. As you listen to it, as you listen to this, Mercenary Kings is still going to be on sale in Europe on the PS Network, so check that out. You can follow me as well at Yannick Qs on Twitter, where I just talk about pop culture. Dodgy puns, but that's okay. In French, but that's your thing.
You did a great egg joke the other day. I think people should go look for that if they speak French. But we have a new Flinthook page on Facebook.
Facebook.com/Flinthook, I believe it is.
Oh, really? Okay.
And, so go there and go like the page. And we put more stuff on that as it goes on. So yeah, thanks for listening to us this week. We'll try to make more of these. But hopefully
we have a lot to say about sausages, so
yeah, exactly. And if you have questions, send them, through Twitter or at info@tributegames.com. We might field them in the later podcast. So, thanks and,
thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Have a good week.
Yeah, have a good week.
Bite in the sausage of life.
Yes.
Do that.